Hey everybody, we are back this week with another episode of Motorsport Minute. Sorry we missed you last week. Our guest and our backup guest had other things that came up, which is fine. We are back this week with the internal podcast. We have myself, my co-host Brady, and Nevada on. We're just going to kind of go over what we're doing this summer, talk a little bit motorsport talk, and we'll get on. Maybe we'll share some news on our big guests that are coming up. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Well, we can kick it off. Brady, do you want to talk about points, sponsors? What do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, points race sponsors. Obviously the points race coming up across all of our shows. For those who've been following, obviously we got the 8 shows coming up, kicking off with Washburn there in June. But something we kind of want to touch about. We're going to get into that more in future podcasts here, but again, we'll start blasting out a little more information, but we've got a lot of sponsors that came together in order to make that happen, in order to get some money out there. We got our class sponsors. I'm just going to run through the list here. We got Devil Dog Transmission, Mohawk Metalwork, Aces Performance, XP Derby Products, and New Salem Civic Club. All came together. Those are some massive sponsors here. I mean, we got Short Round Towing and Tires. We got Two Vets Movie Company. We got Nevada 22 GFX Design, who's also on the cam here. He been doing all of our banners and stuff for us, all of our promotional stuff. So obviously, thanks for that, Nevada. A lot of people don't see the behind the work, but when you start comparing flyers from one place to another, you can tell who really enjoys what they're doing versus, like if I put it together, it'd look like an 8-year-old threw it together. We don't need none of that, but we got Bobcat Amandan, B Plumbing, Johnson's Wrecking, Brian Johnson. Those guys that are local in North Dakota here knows Brian always been a supporter of the Derby world. Balls Hay Grinding, Team Torque out of Bismarck, Guthrie and Sons Dirtworks, Taunton Trail, and NLR have all helped in one way, form, or fashion or another to make this go. What do we got, Mitchell? Is it like 17?
17.5.
17.5 in parts and prizes coming up for grabs here at the end of the season. So that'll make some things a little bit more exciting than normal, a little bit extra to run for. On the top of all, maybe bragging rights. At least if it was me anyway.
Right.
We can't run our shows, obviously, but bet your ass if we were on the track and I got ahead of you there, I'd be rubbing it in your face, Mitchell.
I got like 3 points trophies on my shelf, so you got to catch up with me.
I was not in the North Dakota during those times.
Yeah. And just a quick rundown of how the points are going to work. So just for showing up, you get 5 points. If it's a heat show, you get 5 points for winning your heat. We'll choose an overall Mad Dog. He'll get 10 points. Then first place is 20 points, and then all the way down to 10th would be 11 points. So just subtract a point, every position you go down. So should end up where there's odds and evens. Hopefully we don't have ties, but never know. That makes it interesting as well.
I doubt it. I mean, the way it's kind of set up, it's going to be really hard for somebody to tie.
Yeah.
Which obviously is the goal. I'd rather leave it up to the drivers instead of a call. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the way it's set up that way. There ain't no way somebody's going to end up tying. It's going to be left out there on the track, which I guess what a lot of people want anyway, So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
It's exciting that you guys are doing a points thing and getting that to be kind of a normal thing for up here, because you look at other aspects of motorsports like motocross or dirt track down south or even dirt track up here, but guys will go do everything in their ability to go around that weekend because they're chasing the points series. Right. Where maybe it's not necessarily the best paying show or event, but they know they need to go there to try to chase the points, and that's a big deal to them. So I think it'll help your guys' car count, where it's been kind of just in general struggling in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and without it's a way for us to try and bring more to the table for, I guess, payouts and stuff for the drivers without putting it all towards one event, without putting it at one show or this show or benefiting one show or the other. It helps everybody's involved.
Right.
one way to do it. But like you said, every other sport runs points series in one way or another. And they do
Well,
it
and
even
just
in the
like,
Derby world.
I mean, you guys doing multiple shows helps as well, because then, guys know what they're getting when they go to 6 different shows this summer versus, the big shows around the area. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 5 different promoters, at least me down here close. So it's kind of like, you could run 5 of your local shows and none of the rules are the same and none of the same people are running it. You're just basically there to, hopefully get a check, or, of course they're just to run for the heck of it. But, where you guys have 5 or 6 shows together, I don't know. I think it's it's a good thing and exciting, and hopefully it makes guys derby more during the summer.
Right. Yeah, I hope so.
It's one of the things everybody talks about, anybody from, especially not even our neck of the woods, we were at Bash, and some of the other guys that we've, interviewed stuff said the same thing. They within 20 miles of their house, there's 6 different rule sets, like some of the guys down in PA we were talking to down at Bash, said the same thing. They're like, there's one place, same location, has 2-3 shows a year in the same spot, and there's another place 10 miles away that also has a couple shows, completely different rule sets. So you either got to pick, you got to build for this set of rules, or you got to build for that. Unless you got that much time on your hands, you can build multiple cars to different rule sets and run back-to-back weekends. So,
Right.
We'll see.
Well, just think of it from like another sanction, like dirt track or motocross or whatever perspective. Like, think if one track allows you to run a crate motor and the other one doesn't, you only can have mod motors, or you can only have this type of rear end or whatever. I mean, that would kill a track. I mean, motocross would be the same way. Like, oh, you can't have this or that, or a whole shot device, or, drag racing. Like, oh, you can't have a power adder at this track. I mean, to put stuff at a level playing field, like think about other aspects of motorsports if they were that way, of what kind of turnouts they would have. I mean,
Yep. Well, but it's derbying, so we'll do what we can and try to get a level playing field as far as rules go.
Right.
Take a little bit of what this guy wants, a little bit of what that guy wants, try and find a common ground that suits the majority, and see what happens.
Right.
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting year, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then now lately we've been pounding our car show pretty hard. This is, I think, the last week for sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been really pounding that, which it's looking promising. We ended up getting a grant from the city, so we are going to be on. We haven't chose which radio station, but I think we got 4 radio stations to choose from, so we'll be on the radio for that, and they're going to come to our car show the day of the event, so that's cool.
Yep.
So just kind of trying to grow everything.
How many entries did you guys have last year for that?
107.
Jeez, that's a ton.
87 the year before that.
Yeah.
So it's 20 up.
I'm hoping for 120 this year. Be
Right.
honest. Our lady sold 290 burgers last year, so it kind of gives it like a rough idea of like spectators, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, they sold a lot of food.
Ours here is during like this summer fest thing they have, and I don't know how many show up. By probably 50 between everything, maybe, give or take. But yeah, so for you guys to have over 100, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, last year we pounded the advertising pretty hard, and this year it's going to be like double with the radio. So, we had people from Fargo, Williston, Minot, and obviously like surrounding areas, Bismarck.
Right.
So, if those few people from Fargo and Williston liked it, and tell their buddies, and hopefully every year a few buddies tell a few more buddies.
It. Yeah, car shows are sweet. There's some guys, I mean, that's all they do all summer.
Right.
Kelsey's uncle, that's what they do. They got 3 or 4 cars, and they might only take one to like Miles City or Billings or Glendive, but they'll drive it out there and go to the car show, and they got their 5 or 6 buddies from different areas, just like Derby. You go there to see them and talk to them, and I mean that's what they do during the summer. They don't have camp or anything. They just got their cars and they run around the car shows everywhere.
Right.
Well, we turned it into a family event. Not only do we have the cars, we got bounce houses. This year we're gonna have some live music / announcing, cornhole tournament going on. So and then there's the 5K in the morning. So there's kind of all sorts of stuff going on.
Day then.
Yeah. We'll at least have the DJ going all day. As as far as an actual band goes, it's still
Yeah.
a little up in the air.
So are you guys in charge of that whole day then, or is it like the city doing part of it?
Start to
No.
finish is us.
So just you
no.
guys. So you're promoting like the whole day. So like
Yep,
Yeah.
Summerfest here, Gala Day, and rain.
pretty much.
Same deal.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Start to finish,
That's
parking
cool.
the cars, registration, trophies, organizing it all. Yeah. But it's not bad. It's fun.
Street
No,
closure
I just-
permits. I mean,
Yeah.
in a sense, it's kind of low stress. I mean, when
Yeah.
the cars are coming and parking them, there's maybe a little stress there, but for the most part, it's pretty low stress. And we
It's
get a
stressful
couple,
till the day of.
yeah, we get a
Yeah.
couple guys that come in and neutral judge for us because there's too many guys from the area I can't judge. I know them, so we hire a couple neutral judges, and I don't know. Last year we had like a lot of praise for it. I don't know. I don't think I heard anything bad last year.
No, other than food ran out. But
Yeah, other than
people
the
were
food
eating.
truck sold out, but that's a good problem.
Right.
Yeah, they were eating, but it's a good time, especially if the weather's decent. We've lucked out.
Yeah, super
knock on
lucky
wood.
last 2 years. Super lucky.
Yeah. But then
We've-
you put all that time into a car show, and if it rains the day of the show, you can't really just like reschedule that for the next day because you're talking like street closures and all this stuff. That has to be coordinated well in advance with the city and the police department and the sheriff's department in that case.
If you have 6,000-7,000 tied up in advertising,
Yeah.
gone.
Well, here we've had 2 years within the last, I don't know, 5 or 6. There's been a hailstorm that's came through.
Sounds like Buggies and Blues all over again.
But that's not exactly the thing you want for a bunch of old
No.
Mopar muscle cars and
not
different things.
I don't know about 100 cars, but between we have our storage facility out there, a couple of them, and then I know quite a few people with buildings. I think we could squeeze a good chunk of cars in somewhere. I mean, worst case scenario, we just start packing our storage buildings full as best
Yeah.
we can.
And I think we could too. It's missed both times, but yeah, it was definitely storm came through.
Look at Cool Deadwood Nights. I
Oh,
think
that
the
was
last 2 years in a
terrible.
row I've when it's hailed down there.
Well, always hails down in that country, but yeah.
So
Speaking of
No,
which, are we
that's
going this
good.
year?
I don't think so. Dude, it was way too busy last year. Way too
I
busy.
know. I'd almost rather go on the weekend before or after when there's because people come in. Some people come in a week early.
I think
Stay
we
down
just
there.
rent a cabin anytime and go down with our old cars because
Yeah.
I literally drove around Nevada. Shit you not. I dropped Brady and his crew off at Cadillac Jack's. I don't know, hour and a half maybe. I drove around until I could find somewhere to park, and I still parked in a no parking zone because
Yeah.
I even offered a dude $100 to park in this parking lot, and he wouldn't let me.
I was down there 3 or 4 years ago during it, and we were down there for a bachelor party, so it wasn't just for that, but yeah, it was crazy busy. That's the first time I was ever down there for it because usually the Marmouth has their motorcycle rally deal.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So we usually go to that, and then that year we didn't. So we went down there, and it was nuts. It was crazy. That's
been
the
there.
busiest it's ever been, and all the dealers say that's their busiest weekend out of the year. It's busier than Halloween and St. Patty's Day now.
I've
I'm
been
sure.
to every big event down there. Well, with Brady actually, and
Yep.
Cool Deadwood Nights destroys all of them.
Yeah.
100%.
Last year they said just on the street, not in the bars, people watching the live music, there's 12,000 people standing on the street. I mean, it was, if you wanted to walk up the block, you was shoulder to shoulder the whole way up.
Mhm.
It was
Which
nuts.
is one thing, but if you're gonna, we lucked out and had a really nice place to stay.
Yeah, had 6 car. If you wanted, you could put 6 cars.
Yeah, we got a nice place down there, so that part was fine. But as far as like taking your car downtown, like you said, you drive around forever trying to find a parking spot, and then a lot of the parking spaces downtown were reserved for like mini
Car
car
show.
shows, I guess,
Yep.
where it's like this, you have to pay to park in this lot, and then you got to pay to park in that lot. Well, then your car
Yeah.
had to be in there from X time to X time. So if I just want to cruise downtown and park and go walk around for a little bit,
It's
it's not
not
really an option. I'm better off leaving the car back at the cabin and catching a ride downtown. So then the car stays parked at the house anyway.
Yeah, the best time I had is I couldn't sleep like that Saturday morning, I think. So I was up at like 7 and I went and cruised out to like Cheyenne Crossing, and then I went out to
Boar's
Zippo
Nest
Lodge.
area.
Yeah. I had more fun doing that than like when we went down at around like 11 o'clock because it was so busy. But I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to going, I guess, just not during that time. It's too busy.
Yeah, well, we drive those cars down there and then have to park them because there's nowhere else to use them at down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we cruise, like you said, up by like Cheyenne's Crossing and go that way, then you can cruise all you want. But as far as like cruising around downtown and stuff, not an option.
You guys don't do like a cruise or anything at your show, do you?
No,
Want to?
I don't know if we would do it during our show. It would have to be like a totally separate thing, I think.
We've talked about throwing a cruise together. Me and we've talked about we should do a cruise because he's got old cars. I've got
right.
a few old cars. A lot of our friends obviously have old cars too. About just getting a cruise together and going and making a run in one direction, and maybe next month make a run a different direction or something. I think
they do that here. The car club / just people that have not old cars, but like Camaros and new Mustangs and Challengers and stuff. And probably a group of 15 or 20 of them, and they'll throw $20 on a hat and shake dice or draw a card at, a bar here, and then go to a bar, Marmouth, the bar. There's a guy in Rame that's got a shop with old signs and stuff. So stop there. So 7 or 8 stops and draw cards and then eat supper somewhere in
a lot of
stops. And they do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's have a drink at each one or whatever, but that's pretty fun. Kelsey's parents have a car, so we rode with them, and
that's
it's pretty fun.
It's one thing that this state is not short of is classic car guys.
Yeah.
Holy, by the numbers, there's a lot of classic cars in North Dakota.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, my goal next summer when they go do that is to take my Mustang, that's a piece of junk, and drive it over there with them and just be obnoxious. They got their brand new ones, and then I'll have my piece of junk.
There you go.
It's faster.
Car's a car, right?
Right. So what do your guys' wives think about your motorsport hobbies and ventures? Classic cars, derbying, now the drag racing.
Well,
she was definitely more into the derby before it started taking more time.
Yeah.
And then now that we have a kid and another one on the way, it just takes a little bit too much time right now with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the drag race thing, since it's more of a family, I mean, not saying derby's not a family thing, obviously it is, but just more of a leisurely family trip.
Right.
A little bit more for that. And of course, I know a lot of guys make it working on derby cars with their kids, but I think like the drag car is going to be a little bit more conducive for the young kids, like my daughter and stuff, until she gets a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
So she's for it. And like I said, like switching to buying that drag car stuff, Ava can come out and help me a lot more and come putz around out there. So that's kind of why I made that decision. And I mean, my father-in-law was in charge of the Bowman Derby and stuff for a lot of years and derbied a lot of years. So
sure,
she grew up around it, and her uncles and her dad raced drag cars. So yeah, it's just same old, really. So she's for it.
Sure.
Well,
yeah,
my wife watches these, so I got to watch what I say, but
she's probably a lot kind of same with here. Like she's a lot more for it when it didn't take as much time. And now like you guys promoting, trying to run cars. I mean, same here. Like the graphic stuff's taking up more time. Trying to build a car takes more time. Running somewhere with it takes more time. Like it just all takes more time. Like, and that's more time away from everything else.
Right. If we weren't promoting, right, weekends we're busy doing that, then maybe, but
our derby season doesn't even start till June. Well, we're starting in May just because we're going out of state to run a show, but with I've got shows that I'm trying to run a couple throughout the year, but with our season from the promotion side being so busy, if we got a show on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, I mean, not only have we been working on it for months already, but leading up to like the week prior or the week of even, we're having meetings every night about the show. We're touching base with everybody and making sure we get all the right places or right people in the right places and so on and so forth. So like it's a multiple days, on top of your normal job where you're doing this. And then if I'm going to try and sneak in a show in between there that I'm going to try and go run, cool thing about, we're doing the promoting and stuff, which is great, but it also means if I want to run, we can't run our own show. So now I got to travel further away to go run, so that sucks. But saying in this, with that same sense, so I'm going to run a few shows this year and our summers are going to be so busy. So I'm trying to hammer out builds right now, which means I've been doing this for 2-3 weeks already, staying after work every night at the shop working. So, you factor that time in, we're basically going to go from March through end of August, October, beginning of October, with every weekend shot.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Now that we have a show all the way until October, basically from June to October.
Yeah.
We're more or less doing Derby year round, because starting in November, we're already reaching out to venues and getting contracts signed for 2K24.
Right.
So it's a full year deal now.
And sponsors and, everybody else, especially this year, like I said, we already talked earlier about the point series, but, again, the sponsors, everybody that we got, jumped on board right away and wasn't like, well, we'll wait till later in the year. They're like, yeah, we'll support it. So it's kind of big nuts for us because it didn't make us have to chase people down all year.
You want to ride with us to Memorial Madness, Nevada?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
you should.
on. You got to put our wraps on for us.
Yeah. I
There.
probably picked the two worst things to work together in my schedule. I'm an agronomist at my real job, and then I do derby graphics for my side gig.
Yeah.
And the two most busiest times of the year for both of them is like May and June, basically.
May and June, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other year, maybe mid-April.
Well, and that's just it. Like, I hate to say it, but I don't even know if I'm going to make it down to Beatdown because we haven't turned a wheel down here yet, farming wise. And
you probably won't for a little while.
Still be so busy.
Yeah.
So busy come June, where usually, I can kind of sneak out that weekend or whatever, and it's not a big deal the last couple of years. But yeah, this year I don't know if I'm gonna be able to swing it. We'll see what's going on, I guess. But yeah, so that's the worst part. It's just so busy with both things.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just trying to crank out this car for
Memorial
music show. Yeah, and I got my leftover car from last year, so I got cars to run as well. I just know where to run them, except for our Memorial there, but pretty close to done. I just gotta do a few other minor things.
And that's like the race car. I had full intentions of trying to get it to go, race it this summer. And I don't know, about a month ago, I was just like, nope, I'm not even gonna. If I get it put on the lift and start messing with it this summer, that'll be a accomplishment for me. But I was like, I'm not even gonna just write it off for this summer. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Total the process in itself, though. Getting it started.
Yeah, the thing is, I want to do it right. I mean, same with like derby cars. Like, yeah, you could throw something together to go run a show or something, but I want to do it right, and I don't want to have to redo stuff. So just take my time and do it the right way instead of throw it together. That was the whole reason I got it instead of,
right,
derbying again.
Same. That's that car I did last winter. That's basically why I didn't work on a derby car. I wouldn't say it restored because I didn't get a paint job, but I did basically everything out, like frame down, everything else, between fuel lines, tank, motor, the works. But took all winter because I wanted to do it the right way, so I don't have to ever mess with it again. And it took time, took apart the whole front stub and new bushings everywhere and new torsion bars, the works. Takes lots of time when you only get 2 hours a night to work.
Yeah.
It's like tonight when you called me and were like, "Hey, you gonna be good to go? What are you doing?" Like, I
Yeah.
literally just walked into my shop. I literally just sat down in front of the rear end and I was gonna start ripping ripping brakes apart off that memorial car. You're like, "Oh yeah, we gotta get together tonight." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
gotta get home first. Gotta
Right.
spend time with the family
Yep.
before you do this." So
That's why I said 8 works pretty slick. We went out, well, since it was so nice out and went and checked cows and all that stuff. It's probably the first time my kids got to be like outside without a coat since she was born. So
crazy. Bowman, Nevada. You guys said what, 84 today?
85 it was when I texted you guys that. So I think
I
it
only
was even
got
hotter than that
67 at
today.
my house.
We were a little colder than that yet. I think it was
was hot.
56 was the highest here. It got pretty going northeast. It chilled out a little bit. I think like Turtle Lake area only had 46, 42 something today.
Shit.
Crazy.
Do you guys see
Yeah,
the flooding in Hebron?
No?
Old Highway 10. Yeah, like you would have thought a river was running there. Yeah,
What?
they had to have side dumps dump sand on the side of the highway to block the water from running over. Like
Really?
20,
What
30 trucks.
which highway?
Highway 10,
Oh, on 10 you said?
in between Glen Allen and Hebron.
Yep. Yeah.
See, we've been
Oh,
lucky,
shit.
and of course, we didn't get as much snow as you guys, but we've melted quite a bit, quite a few times. So,
Yeah.
like these last couple of snows, we really didn't have a lot pile up. So then now that it's melted, like just melted and it's gone. So
Sure.
we're in pretty good shape, to be honest. They had a track meet at the school today, and they said like 35 teams showed up, like all the way from like New Rockford and stuff, because we're the only track in the state that can have a track meet.
Oh, nifty.
So kind of crazy. I mean, makes sense. You guys got snow in Glen Allen and stuff. Like
Yeah.
obviously East of you is way worse.
Yeah. Way worse. Way worse. Those poor souls that are out there running for fun.
Yeah,
Once
I
upon a
probably
time.
shouldn't say this, but they had like 3 people like go down today because like one was like a blood sugar thing. So I'm sure because of the heat, like just not used to it. Like all of a sudden, like boom, 80.
Shock.
Especially you guys out east, like if you haven't been over 50 yet and then come to 85, like it's hot.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
Yeah, the kids were outside running around in t-shirts and shorts. Jack got a sunburn on
Wow.
his neck. Yeah.
Yeah, our daughter got
What is that?
sunburned. She got sunburned this weekend getting Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Her cheeks are all burnt red. It's like, geez, but it's good. Springtime.
Right. Wow.
I mean, I'm all for it, I guess.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just weird. It feels like it's been, well, they said 100, Bismarck had, let's say 150 days without, or most places in North Dakota have been about 150 days without 50-degree temperatures. It's crazy.
Too many. That's what
Wasn't us. We're in the banana belt, so we don't. We'll see 50 here and there around randomly in the wintertime.
Yeah. No.
I wish that was
Nice.
the case.
It's a nice little teaser for when it blizzards 2 days later and wind blows 90.
I see Austin Marshbecker getting his pickup back together, huh?
Yes. I went over there. I was over there on Saturday. I was over there. Put the motor back in. And then I just stopped over to help him out for a couple minutes to reline his front clip, put that back on. But yeah, he's just got to put a harness back in it, which he's redoing. He's got to put which kind of not the smallest job, put a whole wiring harness in. But he put that Vic drivetrain in that thing. So, but yeah, he's been making some progress on it. He's been working on that thing every night.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't go get it. It wasn't that terribly long ago he picked it up, so he's like been pounding that thing out.
Yep. Every night. Well, he's trying to get it done for the car show going on.
Oh,
Yeah, he's trying to get it done because
Nice.
You know, some of the other guys had trucks similar styles, you know, to him, kind of that resto look.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he told a few of the guys down there what he was working on, and that was the first year, and then last year they gave him shit for not having it there.
Sure.
So now he's like, I got it, you know, I got to get it done. They're gonna race hell if I don't have it done this year. So
I think that raised our numbers, Nevada. Last year we started an unrestored class. So, you know, everyone's kind of intimidated to bring their cars if they're not like,
Right.
you know, show quality. You know, saying unrestored really brought there, in my opinion, there's a lot of nice cars, but they might be original, so they're not like show quality.
Yeah.
right.
There was a 60, I think it's a 67 Barracuda fastback, but he's had it since high school. It's all original. Yeah, I mean it's, you know, it's got its dings and stuff. I mean, but it's all original. You know, to me that's
Right.
pretty cool compared to something that's been completely redone. So I do think that helped their numbers quite a bit.
That would be my ticket because I ain't painting anything that I ever redo, or at least not a nice
All right.
paint job.
So it was funny. I texted the wife and said, "Beer me?" And she came and knocked on the door. Thanks, son.
You should have sent her a Venmo for like $2 or something.
Yeah,
to bring
well,
you
that's what I
beer.
normally do. I'll send her $1 and just say, "Make me a sandwich." No, damn well I don't want a sandwich, but I just want to see how what her mood is.
You wanna
I moved the podcast studio to like my office / shipping / graphic footer
okay.
on place.
Yeah,
So it's not at my bar. So the beer is much farther away than it was the last few
I
times.
made sure to set a whole stash here beside me before I started,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
didn't have to get up.
I didn't put two and two together there. I grabbed
Unfortunately, you're still drinking Anheuser-Busch product.
Hey, it's in the fridge, bud.
You know, there's worse things in this world that to get concerned about besides
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what?
Well, if you weren't so far away, you could come party with us this weekend. But you're like
Oh,
we got
2
yeah.
hours
big
away.
cornhole tournament this weekend in Scranton
Mm.
that I still need to build like 3 sets of boards for. So
Oh Lord. You know, that's one thing. It's fun to play. I am just not good at it though. Drinking beer and talking shit, part of it, yeah. That
Yeah,
part I can handle.
I can do that. Yeah.
we can hold our own until we get to the guys that play a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they get whooped. So we can usually win a few rounds, and then once it starts to get to the really good guys, we get smoked. But that's all right.
A few derby guys actually from out in this neck of the woods that play all the time, like Dakota, Justin Dakota, and I think
The
some of the DDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are playing all the time. They're always winning.
That's super cool
they're
to see,
always
you know.
winning.
They kind of got
Yeah, there's guys around here. They get back to the shop at whatever 4 o'clock or whatever 5 o'clock, and they'll sit at work for like an hour and play every single night, 2 hours.
Crazy.
There's a couple old guys from Bison that come up and just smoke everybody.
Wow.
They have like a league down there, and there's a couple teams that will come up here to like Scranton or Bowman and play. Like there's these 2 old guys that are like 60 something, and they freaking rip.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We threw a little bit cornhole tournament kind of together for the car show just last year. Somebody had asked if we could do it, and we're like, yeah, we could try and throw something together. So we did. I don't remember how many teams, you know, that we had, all the, you know, the registration money, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it all went to the Randy Mormon 5K fund there, whatever. But I'm pretty sure the Dakota and the DDs came out. I'm pretty sure they cleaned house on everybody there. But fun. Some people are good at it. Some people aren't. I am one of the guys who is not good at it.
Yeah, me either. I don't spend enough time doing it. I'm turning wrenches too often.
Yeah.
Well, I've been building boards kind of randomly, you know, do a few or whatever for people and put designs on them and different things. And everyone's like, "Oh, are you good at it?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm way better at building them than I am at probably throwing bags."
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I got a couple to finish or whatever. So like staining a design on them, or I wrap them too. So then I was building a set for myself to rewrap, and then got like dye sublimated bags custom and design and stuff. So kind of a little niche, not that it's a big thing of my business, but something I can do, I guess.
Right.
So a couple people asked me this summer, like, "Oh, you make me a set?" I'm like, "Yep, I'll put you on the list, but I ain't touching it till this winter." And here I am in middle of April, trying to get all these ones done that people talked about last summer to me.
Yeah.
I think that's the truth.
Brady, did Nevada tell you he really wants us to get graffiti artists at our shows?
Yeah, don't eat it. I don't even know if we want to go there.
No, I reached out actually to a friend today, not about doing graffiti, if you will, but about painting something on my car for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Dobransky
On your
Chris.
car or your van?
van,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But Dobransky, he does art for a living. You know, he's a tattoo artist. But I didn't want him just to graffiti it. I wanted him to actually paint a picture for me on the car.
Does he have an airbrush set?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does a bunch of airbrush stuff, and you know, obviously, being a tattoo artist, he's crazy good at that type of shit. But I didn't want him to just come graffiti the side of the car or whatever. I want him to paint a picture instead of, like, I thought about, because you have him paint a picture of me trying to rattle can it. Well, he can do a way better job than I can.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, you can't paint on the side of the car because you have a wrap like you're supposed to have.
yeah, no, not on the side of the car. I told him hood or trunk.
Hey, Brady said he really liked the raps. I haven't
did.
really looked at them yet.
I did.
Oh yeah, you guys didn't say anything.
Yeah, I did. I've just been slammed at work, so I said, yeah, I really like the way them raps turn out. And so basically just said,
That's good.
yeah, they suck.
I don't know. Those guys are graffiti. I mean, obviously they're talented. Like, I'm not going to take that away from them, but you know, for I mean, no offense to anybody, so let's just put that out there. But if we're trying to like move the sport forward and make it look more marketable and professional, like let's make it more professional.
Right.
It's like opposite sides of the spectrum, you know, because some people, even at big shows, don't run raps. You know,
Right.
they still run, like, you know, this spray
The
painted,
hand painted on
yeah,
stuff.
the hand painted stuff, because that's what they like, you know.
Yeah.
Some people just absolutely love the graffiti stuff.
Yeah, but a
Some
guy that
people
comes in the
absolutely hate
arena
it.
with a wrap versus a guy that comes in the arena with a hand painted car. I mean,
But like I said, to
not
each
that it
their
says
own.
a lot about a guy, or not that it says anything about his build, but it might give off the persona about his build style. You know, you have that professionalism behind the wrap.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
to some extent. I mean, but it depends on how you look at it, because some people just don't give a damn, you know.
Oh, I've been told a million times, like, well, why would you spend that money on or whatever on a wrap that's going to get wrecked in 2 seconds? I'm like, well, yeah, but
A lot of
buy
people have
it from the right
sponsors.
people where they last good. And then, you know, the people that sponsor you, like, I don't know, whatever they give you money or not,
It's
like,
so much
I
better.
think the sponsorship of it is to take that picture and put it
Yeah.
on your Facebook and like where you can see the wraps or whatever it is, the logo.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
why, like, when I do mine, I actually like put the effort into making a logo if a person doesn't have it, or finding their logo and making it close. So like that brand recognition is there for that sponsor that gave them 100, 250, whatever dollars to put their name on the car.
Yeah,
Right.
it's crazy though. You see a lot of big. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, you know. But you see, at big shows and stuff like that, you see a lot more sponsor recognition, you know. But nowadays, like when, you know, I was a kid, Derbian, or, you know, what, 15, 17 years ago, I ran my first show. And then like watching my dad and them and that era of drivers, you know, you go look back at photos. I mean, anybody's car from 25 plus years ago, the whole car was covered with sponsors,
Right.
you know, everywhere. There was, you know, just stuff was written everywhere. Nowadays, yeah, I feel like a lot of drivers just, you know, their number one sponsor is themselves. You know, they just,
It's
Me
so
and my
true. You used to
wallet,
fill out
baby.
that sheet.
yeah, they just don't.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, I'm guilty. I've never been to one of your guys' shows, and like our shows way back when I was little. I remember they would list off sponsors, and most of the time is where whoever worked or whatever farm or whatever.
Right.
And
right,
like
right.
we always get the sheet you fill out with your sponsors and stuff. And of course, you
Mhm.
don't hear them when you're in there, but of course, you hear them. You're listening during the other heats. Like I don't ever hear them ever said. Like
Right.
22 GFX sponsored this car.
Mhm.
You don't ever hear that. I don't know if like your guys' announcers make a point to actually list them off or not. I don't know.
It's not at every show. Some of them yes, some of them no. The reason why like the announcer isn't
Part of your guys' deal.
isn't our deal.
Yeah.
That's like their thing. We could try to throw like, hey, this and that. We'd like you to say do whatever, but at the end of the day, they didn't bring us there to announce.
Right.
So
That's like I like to live vicariously through you guys. So I think of a lot of things for you people for Timeless, even though I'm not part of it, obviously. But like eventually I would like to see like you guys be like your one-stop shop. Like they write you a check to run their show or promote their show or put it on. And like that's all they have to do. Show up with maybe a couple people to take tickets because it's the fair board or county or fire department or whatever, but that's it. Like you guys got an announcer, you guys take care of rewards, take care of promoting, banners, posters, like everything. Like they write you a check and here you go.
It's not that we can't. We've offered a lot of those things. In the
You
past.
do offer it every time.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do offer those. So we can do A to B, and not to say that we're physically going to do that, but we would get somebody and hire them to do this position, and it would be all delegated. But a lot of people. I mean,
and we've talked about that before,
right? A lot of
to have like the tiers.
Yep. These small town shows, a lot of them have been doing it for whatever people are in charge. I've been doing it for so long, and they have their own ways that they want to do this, or this person always does this every year. This person always does this every year, and that's just how we do it. You guys can come in and do the rules.
Yeah.
But we're going to take care of everything else. Okay, that's fine.
Well, and a lot of them people probably have the local radio announcer, auctioneer, or whatever person that volunteers to do it for free. But
and they want to get
even if it would be something like if you guys had like a liaison person, like a media person, whatever, go up there and like meet with that guy for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the show. Be like, hey, these 5 guys have ran a lot of shows for us this summer or whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is going to happen. Like, I'm not saying you need to say this thing, but like maybe somebody that just works with that person just to make it more derby oriented professional. Because like we've all been to shows where the guy that's behind the mic doesn't have any idea what's going on, but he's just there because he's done it for 10 years and has no clue.
Yep.
And like I texted you guys that other day. I don't even know what I was doing. I was probably watching YouTube or something and thinking, but like, I told you guys you need to have like somebody figure out how to get someone on the berm like mic'd up. Like whether it's Mitchell, I don't know who's actually Mitchell, you the head judge on the berm or who's head judge on the berm?
Yeah, pretty much.
You or whatever. It's like, I don't know. I just think of it like you think of Blizzard Bash and like you guys, I mean, same with your guys' shows. Like you guys have headsets on talking to each other, but like it'd be cool to have, and I don't know what it would take, but like have you mic'd up and be like, hey, you need to watch the 72 car. So like after the show is done and you guys make like a promotional video or something, like that can be a highlight. Be like, hey, watch the 72 car, and then you have like a video of that car making its hit after the time's up, or just like more of a transparency deal. And like, when we were coming back from Blizzard Bash, we had Derek Cleveland, which is part of Sam Williams's crew. He helps tech and judge and everything. And then Tyler Simons, TNA Trans. So like he runs a lot of shows. Then me, whatever. We rode back together and we were just kind of BSing and bullshitting about where we'd like to see things going. And like we've had this conversation on the podcast before, but like the biggest thing we always came up with is like transparency. Like for the person that's doesn't go to a lot of derbies or watch a lot of derbies to know like what's going on. Like, hey, why did that car get flagged out? Or why did that car not come in for its heat or this or that, to like bridge that gap somehow.
Yeah.
I think would be like huge of like making it more transparent to like the general public to get more involved. Like you think of like NASCAR, how they have like the radioactive they call it, where they have the crew chiefs and like the radios and stuff back and forth, and like, oh, there's a big wreck here. This is what they said on the radio before it happened. Like that stuff's cool and more transparent to what goes on. I
Right.
think Derby would benefit from something like that as well.
Well, one thing we're changing for, 2023 season, going in that direction. Um, we have a guy that's doing video stuff for us now. We're trying to get him to the shows themselves. We got another camera, another 4K camera we bought, to have the one camera be stationary, but the other one moving around the track, getting action shots instead of being stuck in a stale location the whole time. So we'll have that, which then we'll actually be creating videos of the show afterwards instead of just one live nonstop feed, where it'll be actually an edited video. We'll be able to drop in all the information.
That'd be
cool.
awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because like that radioactive stuff, that's not live. That's like the Monday after the
Right.
NASCAR race, and they're like, oh, these are the radio highlights. So like,
Yep.
if you could have like Mitchell or maybe two people or whatever, or like the guy checking brakes when they come in the arena saying like, hey, good luck out there, fist bump or whatever, like that would be cool. I don't know. I just think like some B-roll highlight stuff for like that video would be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd have to figure out how to record ourselves.
Right. I don't know that stuff. That's just big ideas. I don't the
Yeah.
little finite things of it. I don't know how you do it. Like if you have like a mic plugged into your iPhone recording, I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it. But I'm not the person that knows how to do that. I'm just the idea guy.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's that part. Honestly, that part of it is simple. It's just,
Right.
getting the footage to match it
Right.
is,
Yeah.
going to be the big step, which we're, like I said, we're transitioning to this year instead of just having that one camera, having multiple cameras set up now. Also, required a few extra GoPros for this year. We get some drivers that are willing to let us drop a camera in their car. Get a lot of that footage, which, me personally, I love watching in camera or in car cams, especially if they're mounted right, where you get to see where the driver's looking. That's sweet. And we've already got, talked to a few drivers that are like, yeah, I don't care. We'll put that sucker in my car. So that'll be good too. But that's, again, as far as the media side of things, that's one thing we're really trying to hammer hard on this upcoming year is getting a lot more and better footage for after the show. Because you've all ran a show before where you get done and you're like, going to social media. Anybody
video it?
Anybody video it?
Yeah.
And there's always no, or there's one, but they didn't get the hit you're looking for or whatever. So
Do you remember when Consolidated used to video Nevada?
Yep. They still randomly do.
Do they?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today when I went through Dickinson, because a couple weeks ago I was digging through an old drawer and I have like 4 or 5 CDs that I bought from them, from the derbies that they recorded that I was in. That's kind of cool.
They did. So the last, it's been 3 years ago now. Mott's. When Travis and Corey and Jacob were running it, like I was kind of helping them, kind of same way I help you guys. But I remember the Consolidated guy messaged me and was like, "Hey, is it okay with I film?" And I said, "Well, Track Shot came and did that show,
right?
Yeah,
I think you ran that year with Kyler,
Oh,
but they came in,
yeah, and I won you in the Calcutta, and you fucked me, Mitchell.
Hey,
I was going in. I remember
we won our heat.
Yeah.
But I remember Consolidated want to come film, and I was like, well, I know we're paying a video crew, whatever. You need to talk to Travis, and just Travis need to make that contact with Track Shot to make sure that's okay. Because I mean, obviously they're paying for it already, whatever. And actually, I think Consolidated actually used Track Shot's audio for that show. But anyway, whatever. Regardless, they did that one, and I know they've done Dickinson that year or last year, and then they did Bowman maybe that same year. So I think they still do it if you reach out to them. Yeah. So I don't know. I could probably look and find that contact of that guy that contacted us that year. Maybe he's still in it.
Right.
They do a good job. I mean, honestly, they do a pretty good job of
They
not
do.
having
I
any
watched
idea.
the videos. They're really nice. I mean, they
Yeah.
bring their full like $20,000 cameras to the Derby.
Yeah, they do a very good job. So, like, if a guy could hook something up and maybe, if it's a show that already has their own announcer, maybe you guys dub in somebody to sit there and commentate it. Just ideas. I don't know.
Just
Because,
for our
like,
side.
yeah. So, like,
Yeah.
if you guys have a timeless guy that, is your PA guy or whatever, sit there and mic'd up into there. I mean, yeah, it's just for that. And I'm sure you can record it for yourselves as well to have it. Because that's what they do for like the basketball games here for sure. They put like our KPOK play-by-play guys on them. And like that's the best. That's way better than the other ones they do.
Right.
That's like, have you guys ever heard of the NFHS for high school sports that like a bunch of places do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so like the schools pay for that, like a yearly deal, and then you pay your $20 a month to watch it.
Sure.
And like, so like one of the guys I work with, his wife's the computer teacher. I'm like, why don't you guys just like why doesn't the school just make a class? Because Hettinger does this and they do a decent job, but like they have like a broadcasting class. So they have cameras, they record the games, and then they have, if they have the kids available, they'll do a play-by-play. If not, they dub it up with the radio broadcast. And that's good. And it's obviously you have the camera investment.
Right.
And it's just like you guys with your live stream. They just stream it on YouTube. So you have that initial investment, but like at least you're not paying somebody. I don't even know what NFHS costs. Let's just say $1,000 a year. At least you're not paying somebody $1,000 a year for like literally no benefit.
Right.
It's not like they're getting a cut out of that subscription money. But where if you do a YouTube thing, maybe eventually, you could have your sponsors and get a little bit of revenue off of that.
Right. Right.
Which, two different things, but similar, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of room for growth in the media space.
Promise.
And that's like, I know
Money.
it obviously takes way
it costs
more
money, but
manpower.
Yeah. So that's the biggest problem is the money.
room.
We've obviously spent money on new cameras and stuff like that to get ready for this year, just to try and capture more footage. Honestly, it's not so much for it's not for the fans, it's for the drivers. Fans can watch it live by showing up, or they can watch the live stream, but drivers can't do that, and honestly, they're not looking for the static image. They're looking for somebody to get, the big shot that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we're going to do that is by more cameras. So we went and did that for this year. And like I said, we got a guy editing videos for us now. So, between the two of them, hopefully we can, be able to supply a lot more footage to drivers.
Like your guys' live stream for the derbies, you're planning on doing that for every show, correct? Or just certain ones?
We do last year we live streamed every show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's up in the air.
So have you ever thought about doing like the track shot thing or like the derby tease thing, or like having actual people back and forth, or is it just way too much? You guys are already tying up 10 people, I'm sure, of your crew doing the other stuff. You get three more guys.
Like, I'll tell you, the only thing I don't like about the track shot is it takes a lot of eyes off of Timeless. And it takes a lot
No, I'm not saying have track shot do it. Absolutely not.
Oh, you mean do it
like
how they do it, you mean?
Yeah, I just use them as an example. And I said derby tees too.
I was gonna say, because
to have like two guys, and then like while the arena is getting cleaned out, flip the camera around and be like, oh yeah, that was good heat.
It's super easy to do. Do the software I run to flip the camera on, to do what they do.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about getting somebody outside. Like, obviously, you guys can do that all in house.
Yeah, we want all the traction we can get ourselves.
That's just
we had the guys. I don't see why we couldn't do it that way. It's just
that's the problem, Nevada.
Personnel,
manpower, and personnel. Purposes. We can't.
Yeah, you guys are tying up 5 guys on the berm.
Are you saying you're gonna do it?
Well, I wasn't volunteering myself by any means, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, no. Manpower is
maybe someday.
Manpower is the toughest side of it, honestly. You know,
No, yeah, I get it.
No,
And those
we
guys probably
definitely
have
can
their
do it.
crew of 5 guys. I mean, obviously they're separate from the actual show part of it.
Right.
Derby tees and track shot show up with their crew of 5, 6 guys, 7, whatever it takes.
Yep.
And they're also getting paid to be there, where you guys would have to kind of being essentially out of pocket.
Yep.
yeah. That's again, that's
There
the
you
biggest
go.
part of it. You know,
Another
like
year of your negotiations this
If our
summer.
wives knew more about the derbying, we could set them up and just have them commentate, but it would not look good if they did.
yeah. No,
I know, like the guys that would be really, really good at doing it aren't the guys that would ever want to do it.
correct.
Right.
You're 100% correct. The guys who know, you know, like the sport in and out and could talk about what's going to happen before it even happens are the guys that don't want to be talking
Yep.
on camera. That's just the
I
facts
mean,
of it.
you see this. I mean, nothing against the guys that do it because they're the kind of the benchmark of how it should honestly happen. And they're not. It's hard to know. I mean, those guys are from Utah and New York and stuff, or wherever. I mean, it's hard to know local North Dakota guys or South Dakota guys or whatever.
Right.
I think even if they could get linked up, you know, because I'm sure I don't know if Track Shot will do like Mobridge or whatever this summer, but like if they could get like obviously like Derek Horth is going to run there, but like get someone like him that knows everybody that's running to be there the whole time and get add a lot to their broadcast. But
Right.
Yeah. It would anywhere though, but you know, the guys, like you said, with Orth, for instance, the guys that run that area, know all those drivers, would rather be in a car on the track driving with
for
all of
sure.
the people than they would rather be sitting, sitting up on the side, I guess.
Right.
Just like, you know, Mandan, for instance, you know, I would rather be, it's my hometown show. I'd rather be in a car, you know, but we're promoting. So best I can do is get the rest of my family out on the track.
Mhm.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's just definitely a different way to thinking about it, and I kind of have a little bit different perspective on it now that selling stuff. Like maybe you guys got a little bit more time for the other side of it, whether
Right.
it's trying to help you guys out if I can or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, like I help you guys a ton. I help Caleb all in a ton. Like I just want to see. I want to see the promotional side of it be more professional, and that like me with the graphics and posters and different things, I think I can help with that. So that's why I've been trying to help you guys as much as possible.
Right.
Like I get it. Like I get Microsoft Word's an easy way for like a fair board to make a poster or whatever. But I mean, if we're gonna do this and do it the right way, let's do it the right way.
Right. Well, Caleb can hire me. I'll come commentate for his derby.
You'd probably be up for it, to be honest.
Huh? You tell him. I'll
I mean, they
come
have-
in there and I'll commentate on it.
I mean, I'm sure they'll have. I'm sure Derby Nation or whatever will be at Black Hills, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would
no,
come.
it's good.
Well,
I mean, I'm excited. Your guys' shows are gonna be good this summer. Caleb's 2 shows are gonna be good.
yep.
Sam show this fall is gonna be good. Like, there's a lot of good derbies gonna happen real close to here this summer. It's gonna be pretty fun.
We gotta look into booking a cabin here sooner than later, Brady. Unless we're gonna stay right in Rapid.
I'm down.
Dally and Kayla are coming, so
Yeah. Either way, I'm
just
I'm
so you
in
guys know,
favor.
I'm gonna stop recording. We can keep talking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is your